Hey, welcome to the show today. I'm here with Phil from Supreme Seal Roofing, and we're going to talk about ice damming because you know what? There's a lot of people out there who have problems with ice damming. We're going to talk about the causes, we're going to talk about some cures, and we're going to talk about some ways to prevent it from even happening maybe in the first place. So let's get into it. Ice damming.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are the roofing expert. And so maybe you can tell us, what is ice damming? How does somebody even know they have it?
Yeah, I mean, for most people, they don't really look up at the roof, right? When I'm driving down the road, whether I'm on a trip around here or away, my eyes are just looking at roofs, and that's just how my head
Yeah.
is geared, right?
Yeah.
But for a homeowner, usually they catch it too late. They'll see a bit of a water stain on their ceiling, and then they're a bit of a panic or a drip, and then they'll call a roofer to say, "Hey, I think I have a ice buildup here or a leak." Um, and there's multiple, as you know, there's reasons for ice damming. Do you want me to list a few or what?
Yeah, sure. Get
Okay,
into it.
let's. So number one, I would say is heat loss. So, and this would be caused by poor insulation, or it could be poor ventilation as well. So to prevent that, it's important to have a good airflow in your attic and insulation. That's R50 or R60, but it's not in every area that allows you to put the R60 value that you need. So that's usually where the ice buildup is going to form.
Yes. Okay, hold on. So I'm just going to back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the heat loss, meaning you've got snow on your roof.
Exactly.
The heat gets lost through your ceiling, goes up into your attic, melts that snow.
Mm-hmm.
That snow turns to water, runs down your shingles.
Exactly.
Gets to the edge of the roof where it's freezing cold.
Yeah, because now it's nighttime.
Because now it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And it freezes on the end.
And that's what starts the process.
That's the dam.
Exactly.
Great. And then you end up seeing water spots in your roof.
Yeah, because that
ceiling.
water can't go over the dam now. It seeps under the shingles, right? And start entering the attic cavity, which will trickle down your insulation, past your vapor barrier, find a hole somewhere, and it starts dripping your house.
Right. Okay. So that's why you need to be concerned about ice damming forming, because ultimately it leads to water getting into your house. Is there anything other than water getting into your house that you need to be worried about if you have ice damming? What else could happen?
No, of course, because sometimes you won't always have water or you won't see a stain until it's too late. Like you could have mold growing up there, and mold will grow in a wet environment. So if it's constantly a bit damp, not enough to seep through your paint, but it's still creating damage up there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So when you're replacing roofs, how often do you see that, holy cow, this guy didn't have any water stains, but there's definite signs that there was water damage because of ice damming? Is that something you can even tell?
Yeah, usually the decking and the shingles will tell a lot. And when I'm talking about decking is the OSB or the plywood that's on the roof that we walk on, right? Usually if there was some ice buildup or moisture that was trapped, you'll have like a sag in between the trusses.
I've seen
right?
that.
Right? It's a dip. So that's the number one thing that we look for. And also along the edge of the shingles or the valley where possibly there could be an ice buildup, you'll see marks from hatchets, hammers, sledgehammers, where there was somebody that came up to remove some ice at some point. So when I quote a house and I do an inspection of the roof, that's all little things that maybe somebody is not going to look at. But for us, that's something I look at every time. Yes, because, this person has ice problem in the past. Now, if I put a new roof on this, is it going to resolve it? If the inside was not addressed, most likely not.
Right.
So it's something that I need to look further into the attic, or I need to talk with the homeowner about, right?
Right. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay, so ice and water shield.
Yes.
Isn't that supposed to like solve it?
Yeah, I mean, ice shield is, let's say,
What is ice
this.
shield? First of all, explain this
All
to
right, so
me.
ice shield is a membrane that's self-adhesive. There's different levels of this. So when we remove the shingle and install the ice shield at the bottom, typically it's the first 3 feet. If it's a lower slope, we could go up to 6. If it's a tricky area, up a wall, skylights, then we'll do the 100% of the area just to help prevent. But I mean, your shingles are the number one line of defense here. And then your ice shield is your second line of defense. So if there's water that goes under your shingle, it falls into your ice shield, which will bring it back out to the eavestrough. But now all the nails that you installed to secure your shingles
Oh, yes.
are penetrated, and it doesn't 100% self-seal, right? It's
Right.
like if you have a nail in your tire, it's leaking a little bit.
Right.
It's just the same thing.
Okay.
It prevents it, but it doesn't. It's not a guarantee that it's not going to leak because of it, right?
Right.
Like it helps, but
Because a lot of people think, oh, I got ice and water shield.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, there's nails
there's nails, there's staple
all the way
holes.
along,
Yes.
which I never even thought of. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What about insulation?
I mean, insulation here.
Like, let's not let the heat get out of the
Yeah.
house.
I mean, typically where there's ice damming on the older homes, because the cavity is not as, let's say, wide where the edge is, so it doesn't allow to put proper insulation that you need for avoiding that heat loss.
Gotcha.
So it is important to have your attic properly insulated because you want to try to retain that heat into your house and not into your attic. And I think we've talked about this before. Is general rule of thumb is the temperature of your attic should be the same temperatures as outside. So if it's minus 20 outside, it should be minus 20 in your attic. If it's not, if it's like minus 10, you're losing a lot of heat and you need to do something about it.
Which brings me into the next point is, so you've got insulation, but you also need ventilation.
That's right.
So if you want your attic to be the same temperature as outside, you've got to let cold air in.
That's it. So at the bottom of the roof, when you look up, you see a perforated area that's typically usually in aluminum. And the airflow will travel up in there into a series of baffles. What we call baffles. They're a styrofoam piece that are inserted between the cavity of your trusses, and it allows about 2 inches of air circulation, and then your insulation will be blown into it. So it allows airflow to go into your attic, but now you need roof vents, which will suck that fresh air out of your roof.
So
and
cold air in, hot air out.
Hot air out, yeah. And it just makes a nice flow. That's how it's supposed to work. But a number of times, the baffles are blocked at the bottom, so you don't get airflow. But like as I mentioned on older homes, they had wood soffits with little strips of opening where the air could go in. Now, maybe you've been into that scenario before. I'm sure you would. Yeah. Some companies will come and put new soffit right over that, and they won't remove the wood or allow holes. So you either remove some of the wood, you install your new soffit over it.
Yeah.
Then this will create good airflow. So if we go to the wood soffit one, now you're kind of restricting the flow that's going in by not cutting out the old plywood that was there or whatever was in place. So your flow is really restricted, so you don't get that cold airflow going up.
Yeah.
And then you got your hot air that's not getting flushed out, and it starts to create your ice dams.
So a lot of times when we're replacing wood soffit or we're installing aluminum soffit, the vents for the wood soffit are plugged up with dust or something.
Yeah.
And also it's not very many ventilation. Is there a rule of thumb or some sort of building code that says, okay, if you have 2 vents on your roof and it's a 1x1, how much soffit ventilation should you have in accordance or to balance the roof ventilation.
I mean, that's a very good question, Mike, and it's not something that I have information on. I never really looked at, but when we did insulation or when I go into an attic, I want to see baffles in every single cavity.
Yeah.
It should be there.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's a chimney in the way, bay windows.
Yeah.
And you can't slide that piece of foam, the baffle, if the bay window is there because of how it's constructed. And I'm sure you'll see this in some of the service calls that you're going to be doing for ice removal. Those bay windows are terrible for heat loss.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
there's always an ice dam over them.
Yes, and it's simple because the window is actually framed into the soffit area, and there's almost no insulation that can go on top of that bay window. So it's a huge heat loss.
Right.
And it's where you're going to have your ice dam.
Right.
It's at the bad area.
Yeah.
So now we got the baffles, the air is going in. The roof vents needs to be sucking the air out of there. But if those baffles, what happens sometimes is if you get your attic topped up with blown insulation, when they're holding the hose, sometimes it will shoot into the baffle by accident.
Yeah.
Now, professional companies should go and remove and make sure it's clear, but it's not a perfect scenario all the time, so it does happen.
Because it's hard to do. The roof's coming down to this,
yes.
Right? And so Buddy doesn't want to get up
He's
there.
Crouched over.
Yeah.
He's got his face mask on, his eye covering. It's kind of foggy. So, I mean, typically you'd want those clear. And like the roof vents, there's a lot of newer roof vents that are more efficient than the old type.
Right.
Like the plastic ones you see on the older house, they're a lower profile. Those in the winter, they just get buried. So if there is a bit of a heat loss that need to come out, it can't because it's under the snow.
Right.
So it's important to have good, proper vents as well.
Yeah. Okay. So for ice dam prevention, we've got ice and water shield.
Yeah.
We got insulation. We got ventilation. What about just taking the snow off the last 4 feet with one of those rakes?
Yeah, I mean, it is a good practice, and they do sell those rakes, and some homeowners will choose to buy one and try to scrape it off. I mean, it's not every home that is low, so most roofs they won't be able to reach.
Yeah.
But there is a pros and cons against that. Because what's happening if you do only the first 4 feet, like I'm talking if there's a lot of snow on the roof.
Right.
When you're dragging that down, now the snow is going to start to melt higher up, but it will stop, and you could be creating a second ice dam a little further up.
Ooh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen where typically...
And there's no ice and water shield up there.
There's no ice and water shield up there. No, there is none. I've seen it before. That's why I say that, because usually you get a call, it's on the side, it's along the gutter, basically. That's where you'll find it. But then he had a roof rake, and there was a second ice dam about 4 feet up the roof where he stopped.
Wow,
a little
never
below.
thought of that.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's a big snowstorm, the thing too is it's heavy on your house.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 feet of snow on your roof, you should definitely get that off.
Right.
Like it's heavy.
Right.
If you think about it.
Yeah. Okay. What about heating cables? So
heating cables
as another preventer of ice damming.
I mean, heating cables are good. They have a job. It melts the ice, allows a channel for the water to flow in. And if you're putting those heating cables in your gutter, down your downspout, not going into the ground, but away from the house, it's brilliant. They do their job.
Yeah.
They allow a channel for the water to go down. But is it every house that need that? No, because it's not everybody has ice damming.
Yeah.
So there is scenarios where upper roof is dumping water or snow onto a lower roof, and it kind of pulls into a corner. Yes, those ice cables should go there. Now, that being said, some shingle manufacturer will say that they will void the warranty because they say it's excessive heat onto the shingle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never seen a claim on it,
Right.
but I mean,
Which means it probably doesn't happen that often.
no.
I mean, I think that you would have seen a claim by now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I've been
After-
at this since 2003, so we're 23 years. I've never had shingles that I had to replace because of ice cables.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's just something they put in the small print to wash their hands from
Just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, ice buildup will do more damage to those shingles than a heated cable would. Because the ice, ice, they move bridges. Like, ice is strong.
Yeah.
So when it's onto that shingle and it freezes and it tries to go underneath, it's torturing that shingle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will see a shingle that's been damaged from ice.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see it at the bottom, 6 inch, 8 inches, maybe outside of the valley.
If the shingle's frozen
Yeah.
and the ice is bending it up,
It's bending.
going to crack it.
And whether, like, it's into the construction too, because the shingle, the granulars will hold a bit of water on the top, and it freezes it. It becomes brittle. No, you can tell, like, if a roof has, ice buildup for years, I can tell you if it was there or not.
Yeah.
Not because somebody beat on it from an axe, but because they look like they're premature eroded, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting when I get your
Yeah.
when I get your point of view, because you've got so many years of experience. You've seen this so many times. I never actually thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So here we are. We've got ice dams. That was just ways to prevent it. Now let's talk a little bit about curative measures. So I've called out people before to take out ice dams, and they use things like chisels, hammers, axes. I think you've probably done that in the past.
Yeah, no, we
right?
did.
So give me your thought on pros and cons of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that from way back when I started. We didn't use hatchets, but we used sledgehammers. And it can be very effective, but you need to be careful on how you're using your sledgehammer and how you're going to break that ice, because you don't want to ding your metal, you don't want to ding the shingles, you don't want to break them. You don't want to create damages for trying to avoid some, right?
Right.
So it's kind of you want to stop that water from coming into the house, but you don't want to destroy the roof. So we would cut a channel. If we come to a house and there's a big giant ice buildup, I would chisel or break the ice with my sledgehammer from the top, which is thinner, making my way down. And then you would see the water just trickling right over the gutter.
So you'd make a channel.
Channel.
How wide would it be?
6, 8 inches.
Right.
You don't need to remove all the ice when there's a problem like that. You need to create a way for the water to escape.
Right.
Right? But I mean, that's the steam machine that you have now. It wasn't available back then.
Right.
I mean, I've heard about it a few times, but just in the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? So we were more of an older school approach, break that ice, shovel that snow. Some people would throw some salt up there.
Yeah, they've got those salt pucks.
Yeah, how much damage are they doing on the shingles? I don't know. I mean, salt over time can rust a car pretty quickly, and like the roads, the tar. If you compare a pavement on the roads to our shingles, I mean, they're both made of tar and gravel. I mean, it does ruin the road eventually, just from the salt seeping in.
Yeah.
I mean, the ice, this crack in the road, the ice gets in there, boom.
Yeah.
So it's very strong. But when it came to the Eavestrough, now, I couldn't free that Eavestrough with a sledgehammer. I would destroy it, right? So I can't do anything. Yeah. All I could do is make a channel to allow the water to escape over the Eavestrough and off the roof. So with this machine that you have in this service, I think it's very good that you can actually clear a good chunk of that, or all of it, and the gutters. And now
everything's brand new again.
Yeah, and this client starts to zero. And if this client has ice build up every year, then yes, like a heated wire for him. Yeah. You install a heated wire for him. Yeah. And then he's done.
Every single spring we get phone calls from people who had somebody out to
Yes.
check to get the ice off the edge of the roof and use a chisel or an axe or a sledgehammer and bust their gutters.
Yeah.
And there's a hole in the gutter. The
It's
front
ripped
end's ripped
apart.
apart. You got to be really careful.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're going to go down that road and hire somebody to do that, you just got to make sure they know what they're doing and they're not going to go hog wild.
Yeah.
And just start swinging away like a madman.
That's it. Like I said, you don't want to create more damages trying to prevent one.
Yeah.
So it's
so we've got the chisels. You touched on the salt pucks at all. Is there anything that
this homeowner, I mean, they even sell
you
at
ever
Home
do
Depot.
that?
I've never really, I mean, I think the blue salt is less aggressive on maybe on the shingles.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would recommend doing.
Yeah.
Like it's not something I researched. I don't have enough information to say, hey, go buy those salt puck at Home Depot and throw them up there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's better than having water inside your house. So,
True.
But
True.
I would just, I would suggest to call a professional like yourself or myself and then say, hey, can you come have a look at this? Maybe remove some of the ice.
Yeah. I've seen guys up on the roof with a pressure washer.
Yeah.
And hot water.
Yeah,
What do you think of that
too? Well, the thing with that is the high pressure for me is no good. Pressure washers are designed to blow dirt away, wash your cars, clean your patio, strip the paint off your deck. So think about it. Yeah, it's hot. It's melting the ice. You're cutting the ice, but you're cutting your shingles. And you're going to lose a lot of granular off your shingles with that pressure washer.
Blast all those little grains right off.
And like the granular is the first line of defense protecting that shingle, right? So they put their recipe when they manufacture those shingles, the tar and the gravel is at the top, right?
Yeah.
So that's what cuts the UV. So by example, let's say I'm putting a sealant on an exposed nail on the roof and I leave it like this. Within a few years, that caulking will crack, even if it's the best caulking I could buy, right?
Yeah.
But
because the sun's hitting it.
It's hitting it.
All day,
it's
every
getting
day.
sun exposure and the UV eats it. But if I go down to that gutter and I find a little grit of shingle, I scoop that up in my hand.
No way.
And I put it on the caulking.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a name for that. It's called Parmesan, like Parmesan cheese. So that's just a little detail. I knew you'd like that one. So that's something that I like doing, and I taught my guys to do this.
Yeah.
And they laughed a little, but if you think about it, now your
That's brilliant.
sealant is protected from the UV.
Yes.
And it blends on the roof. It doesn't look like a blob of caulking.
Okay. Because there's always one spot where you have to have exposed nails.
There's going to be
it's
one.
like the last shingles on the roof.
Last shingle on the roof.
So that's what you do.
Yeah. Parmesan.
See.
Get some Parmesan in the gutter. Get that in there. Yeah.
That's why you're as good as you are. Is those
it's
little
a little
details.
detail that counts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, after all these years, I'm learning still.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, like if you're doing a job and the guy's like, hey, could you remove that satellite dish? It leaves 4 holes there.
Which we do all the time. And we put caulking there. Now I know.
Now you grab some Parmesan in your gutter, sprinkle that on top and call it a day.
Yeah.
You'll never know there was ever a satellite there.
That's awesome. That's good. Okay. So now we get it. We've talked about all the traditional things.
Mm-hmm.
And now one of the things that I want to address on this information session is this new product. It's not new. It's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's new to Ottawa, the Ottawa area.
Yeah.
It's new to the basic. I don't even know anybody closer than Toronto that has one of these. I did some research.
Yeah. Like a few weeks ago, or maybe a month, I crossed you at the Roof Mart.
Yes.
And you were talking about maybe buying one of these machines. And I mean, it's true. I've known, being at this since 2003, I know a lot of big companies, a lot of roofers, and I've done a lot of ice removal, and I've never came across someone that had that machine.
Yeah. Yeah, we the history here is, like I said, every spring
Mm-hmm.
I get phone calls and gutters are damaged from axes and chisels and
Yeah.
hammers. And then while I'm up there, I also see all the nicks they put in the shingles all the way
Mhm.
along. And so a couple years ago, I started to research it and look into, like, how do we prevent this? There's
Yeah.
got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And now I have staff who want to work all winter long.
Of course.
They're super motivated. And I was like, okay, after doing the research, I researched all over Canada. I couldn't find anything that I really liked. And then finally I settled on this machine that's built in Minnesota. And it is, it's like the Cadillac. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The people that designed this and put it together and engineered it did an extremely good job to make it efficient and make it so that it doesn't damage a roof. You can't even damage the roof. It's low pressure, high temperature steam.
Okay.
So we've done some jobs. I showed you the video.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of that whole thing now.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the video and I was worried at first. I was a bit skeptical, right? Because I like to, when I see a product or something I'm not sure about, I really dig into it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, maybe I can give you an example. If I get a new shingler on my crew and he's at the spot where I want to teach him how to shingle, I'm going to tell him where to put his nails.
Yeah.
And that guy is going to put his nails there because I told him so.
Yeah.
And he's going to do a good job. But then if I have another guy and I'm showing him where to put his nails, he's going to ask me, why there? Right? And then I'm going to tell him, because I like to look, I'm not just going to put my nails there because I was told to. I want to know the logical way of why are we placing our nails.
The whys, the reason.
Exactly. So in the shingle itself, the construction is thicker in the area where we call the nail zone. That's why we decided to put our nails there. Now, the pattern for most shingles are recommended by the manufacturer. They tell you where to put them. That's why we follow them. But from the way I work is I'm going to look at that construction of the shingle and I'm going to see, is it thicker there? Yeah, it is. So I'm not just going to do something because somebody told me that's how it's done. I want to know the reasoning behind it. So I looked a bit of information because for me, it's like that steam is hot. How much pressure does it has? It says low pressure. And that's the big difference between if we go back to that pressure washer now that's throwing all those rocks off your shingles and making damage versus your low pressure system, which is not creating damage at all. And I've looked multiple sources now. I couldn't find one place that says this is damaging. I mean, if used properly. Now, if you were going to hold that one on the one shingle for 10 minutes, maybe you'd be cooking it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But no, I was overall impressed by this new machine that you purchased, and I think it's going to be a problem solver for a lot, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's one more thing that at first I was skeptical. I'm like, that's a lot of water. It's going to drip down somewhere else. Now the parking lot's going to be slippery, the walkway. But it's not a huge amount of water that's going through that wand.
No.
I mean, sure, you're melting some, but like in your video, you're not melting it till it's gone. You're melting it to where you could remove the chunk and then place that chunk somewhere else. So yes, for sure.
That's right. That's the magic of this, right? Like when you're up there with a chisel, you gotta chisel away and chisel away and chisel away like this much.
Yeah.
But now we're getting under it and we're lifting
You
off.
can lift it. Exactly.
An 8-inch piece and putting it to the side
with no
so
damage.
It can melt later with no damage.
No damage.
Yeah. So the guy that we did on Sunday, I don't know if I told you this, he had somebody out last year to chisel away, but he was very scared because he had a brand new roof and he didn't want to do it again. He didn't want to hire the guy back.
No.
The guy was out there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
We did the same amount of work in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we're pulling chunks off.
Oh, yeah.
Not chiseling away little chips at a time.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
And when I did a lot of ice removal, I mean, there is always a chance that I'm going to damage a piece of shingles because sometimes it's stuck in that ice. And I'm cracking that ice and I'm taking the chunk and I'm throwing it off. But if that shingle is stuck in between, I mean, it's going off with the block,
Yeah.
right? But with this machine, this is not going to happen because you're melting it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to take advantage of this incredible steamer that we've recently brought to the Ottawa region, give us a call. Bronson Johnson Seamless Eavestroughs. You can visit our website or you can give us a call. Fill out a form online. We'll get back to you right away. I'd be happy to come out and take a look at whatever's going on at your house and give you a solution. Any final thoughts on this topic for anybody out there who may need to hear some great advice from a great roofer?
Yeah. There's one thing that I didn't really talk about that is an issue for creating ice damming, not only at the bottom, but it could be right up on the roof, like in the middle of the roof, could be anywhere really. And it's the bathroom fan exhaust.
Oh, yes.
Because Mike, like sometimes those pipes are not insulated all the way to the vent, and they should be, or else all that hot air that you have in your washroom from, having a shower, it's escaping.
Yeah.
And it's melting all the snow that's around that vent.
Yeah.
And it's starting to make an ice there. So it's important that those things are addressed. But there's multiple, it's not just a pipe here, right? You know that. You've had your fair share of attics, I'm sure. And number one that I've seen is somebody along the way replaced that bathroom fan. And they did it from the inside of the bathroom.
Yeah.
So they remove the fan, they break the screws, they pull that down. The insulation's caving in now.
Yeah.
And now they got the new unit. They put the tape on, secure it. They throw it back up there.
Yeah.
But now there's no more insulation on top of that.
Yeah.
High humidity that seeps through the holes, creates an air leak. And that's a big no-no.
Huge. Yeah. You got to get back up in the attic.
Got to go back up. You should have a vapor barrier over that fan to block the moisture because that's the number one.
Insulated pipe.
Insulated
get it to
pipe.
The outside.
Yeah. And it's always hard to wrap that plastic over the fan. So if it's a homeowner that's doing it and he feels competent enough, and some are, spray foam the top of that.
Yeah.
You'll be done. Put all your insulation back. Make sure that pipe is all the way insulated and taped properly around your, what we call a gooseneck vent on your roof. Yeah. And that will eliminate that issue.
Phil, here's another thing that I'd like to talk a little bit about today, and that is snow buildup on the roof. Okay, because there's also a service that we offer where we go and shovel the snow off of a roof. And so when do you need to do that? And how do you do it best?
I mean, in a scenario that you're trying to prevent ice buildup, if you know it's an area that, let's say you have a foot of snow on there or 2 feet, and there is a heavy rainfall coming, right? Because we get that here in our region. And this will start the snowball effect of having ice damming, because you've got all that rain that falls through that snow, hits the shingle, and then you have your attic that's releasing some hot air, and then it will start to freeze at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if that's you know that your house has that scenario and you don't have heated cables, I would say that you need somebody to address it like the next day if we have that big rainfall, right?
Right.
But typically, if we're talking about regular homes here, when is there too much snow on my roof?
That's right.
I would say 2 feet is probably okay. 3 feet is definitely heavy.
Yes.
If you think about it, pick up a box that's 3 feet by 3 feet, fill it up with snow, and to try to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, roofs are strong. They are strong, but that's a lot of weight. So somebody that's worried about the weight of the snow on the roof needs to get it removed for sure. The tools that we used, the best one really for all the years that I've used it is one of those big scoop shovels. You know, they're yellow or some are green. It's got like a big handle.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looks like you could put your child in there and give it a sleigh ride, right?
Yeah.
I call him a snow scoop.
Yeah.
Because we start from the top, and you don't want to push it right to the shingles, right? You want to leave a little bit of snow on there.
Like,
Well, I mean, because the key
quarter
is,
inch?
yeah, even an inch, even if it's 2 inches.
Even at 2 inches, yeah.
You don't want to scrape the granulars off those shingles, right?
Right. So never hit the shingles.
Yeah, and the fun thing about the snow scoop is it's not very aggressive. So when you're pushing in it and like you have a bucket full, you push down and it actually rides over the snow. You walk to the edge and you dump it out.
Yeah.
Because if there's 2 or 3 feet of snow, you get plenty of traction. Like you're knee deep in that stuff. You're not falling off.
Yeah.
But Mike, you should always be tied up for this, right?
Of course.
Safety is first. So we used a lot of that. And your standard snow pusher, the snow pusher is on the plastic, no like steel
No metal
edges
blade.
on that. No. First, it's hard to push, and it automatically wants to dig to the shingles.
Yeah.
So your standard scraper, but your snow pusher, if you have a lot of snow, is going to be your best friend.
Yeah.
And you're going to go through that snow so quickly with that snow scoop, and it's effortless.
Yeah.
Because you just push down, push off the roof, start over. Now, all that snow you put on the ground, that's a different story because you're going to have to move that off.
Right.
The window wells, the walkways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you been to a house where maybe they weren't too concerned about that 3 feet and had some really dire consequences?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never seen the roof collapse, but I've had calls that the lady says some of the doors in the house were not opening or closing anymore.
Wow.
Because it's starting to put so much pressure on your rafters or your trusses that it's compressing everything down.
Yeah.
And that's a bit scary because that's 3 foot of snow that's fluffy.
Yeah.
So if we get 20 mil of rain, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Because that snow is getting wet now.
Yes.
And this is where it's more concerning is, if we get that rain, or if we get mild temperature, like we get a +4, +5, now that snow is like a snowball. You can make a snowball with it. It's a lot heavier. Like you grab a handful of snow, it weighs nothing.
Yeah.
Soak it in water, it's a lot heavier. So put that 10,000 times for the surface of your roof, you could have a problem for sure.
Like I always thought that the pitch of the roof, the engineers designed this so that the pitch is designed so that, hey, guess what? Snow's never going to build up too much.
No.
It's going to fall. It's going to slide off before it falls off. I mean, a flat roof, I see. You got to look after a flat roof all the time.
Yeah,
but
you do.
Don't most people not have to worry about this?
Yeah, I mean, newer homes now, they're built them more steep. And there's older homes that are very steep too. But there's a lot of homes that are built at what we call a 412 pitch. So it's very low, right? 4 or 5. So the snow is going to sit on there and it's going to build up. So that those are the homes that needs to be addressed.
Okay, well, there you have it. Right from one of the experts who's been around Ottawa for many, many years, solving problems for people all over the city. So thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on your show.
All right. And I bet you any money, a lot of people are going to benefit from this. And ultimately, that is what we want.
Yeah.